How's it going, guys? It's July 11th, 2024. I'm here in my greenhouse, my geodesic dome, and I want to show you guys the genetically modified purple tomato that is now available to purchase as seeds. So I bought these seeds, like 10 seeds or something that they sent me. I think it's called North Fork or something, the company. Anyway, this tomato plant is now about 8 feet tall. I have other tomato plants that are 9 to 10 feet tall. Black Beauty, if you look at this, is about 10 feet tall with 4 to 5 stems. I'm training them up strings. The greenhouse is about 18 feet tall in the middle, so I still have some room to keep them going. But anyway, this purple tomato sets a lot of flowers, and I just kind of go through and shake them as they bloom. And look at the tomato set. This is like one set of blooms here coming off of one stem, and this is just tomatoes. It's just loaded with tomatoes. I just wanted to show you guys some of the ripe ones. They look like this on the outside, and I'll bite into it real quick. That's what it looks like. It tastes like a cherry tomato with a little bit of an earthy taste, a little bit of an earthy aftertaste. It tastes good, but I suppose not as good as my favorite tomato. But just look at the color. This would look really nice in a salad, but the fact that it sets so much fruit is already a plus, I think. The flavor, it's not like super unique. The flavor just tastes like a regular tomato, but the color is spectacular. So like, here's some of my other tomatoes. Size comparison, you know, cherry tomato versus this variety is called Shtan, Ukrainian variety. Here's another cherry tomato. Now this one I actually like better taste wise. Let me taste this one. This one just has more tomato flavor than the purple one. To me, this one tastes better. But this one is pretty good too. I wouldn't say this one's bland by any means. This purple tomato is actually quite good. It's just not as good as some of my favorites. Some of those sweet, juicy cherry tomatoes. Some of those get really good. This is just mediocre, but not bad. It lacks the intensity of a cherry tomato, but it passes by taste for like any other tomato. In comparison, it's not bad. It's just not as intense. Not as intense as the usual cherry tomato. But I mean, this is just the uniqueness. The uniqueness and the amount of fruit that it sets is quite phenomenal. This is just filled with tomatoes. Lots and lots of tomatoes. Some of them can turn out to be a little bit small This one's the smallest one I've seen. They're all purple. This is in my greenhouse. I do have one outside also, and it's just as purple outside. This doesn't require like a certain amount of light or anything like that to create this purple color. My greenhouse lets in maybe 70% of the light, so it blocks like 30. And the tomatoes love it. In my greenhouse, they grow like twice as fast as outside, or even faster, being July 11th, and some of them being over 10 feet tall. I do expect them to get like 16 feet tall by the end of the season if I keep training them. Usually I get tired of tying them up and I'll stop tying them or wrapping them around the string at about 16 feet. But theoretically, I can probably get them to touch the ceiling if I wanted to. This orange variety, some varieties of tomatoes are slower growers. I don't know what this orange one is called, but this one's only about half as tall as some of those out there. This one's pretty tall too. I've been harvesting tomatoes for a while already, so there's not very many red ones left because I've kind of picked them. I also got a pepper that's ripe, a couple ripe peppers in there, and that's still in the pot. It's my pawpaws. I only set about 5 pawpaw fruit this year on my Shenandoah. There's 3 in that bundle and 1 down here. I was hand pollinating these. I also grafted over the top to honeydew. This is the Allegheny pop. I didn't set no fruit, even though I hand pollinated. All the fruit aborted. So that's my quick update on my purple tomato and my greenhouse. This apricot tree, I grafted over to like 12 varieties. I guess I should show my seedling peach. That's about 11 feet tall now. Got a bunch of grafts, probably about 7 or 8 different varieties. That's Spice Z with the purple leaves, a couple donut nectarines and stuff. So this seedling nectarine is still not ripe. I have about 4 fruit left that didn't abort. Still green. Starting to get bigger, but I'm assuming this is going to be a later variety. They're all my grafts. That's a graft right there. So all that growth from there to there happened this season. Also, you can see there's a graft right there. And so that has 2 branches going. All that grew within the last month and a half or so after I grafted. Grafted all my pawpaws recently. Some of them are starting to go. So anyway, got my persimmons grafted also last week. All my persimmon varieties from Cliff, England. It seems like some of them are starting to grow. Got my figs in here. This is called Violetta. Almost ripe. Waiting for the first ones to ripen up. Put a couple more grafts on this pawpaw tree. I think this was Wells, but then it almost didn't survive a winter when this was planted outside, and I'm not sure if what came up from the bottom is still Wells or if it's seedling, but it is setting flower buds, and so I should be able to find out what variety this is this coming season because it is setting flower buds. So if it's seedling or wells or whatever, I should be able to know if it sets fruit. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.